I've gotten to spend a lot of time with some parents with kids recently, down there in Kingston, up here in North America. Maybe some of you watching in our couples group or young professionals, maybe even men's and women's, maybe you have kids. Maybe if you're watching, you were a kid we were all kids at one point, but there's something specific I've observed, and that is when the little kids, specifically toddlers, when they jump out the car at Mega Mart or up here in the States at Walmart, or maybe it's right when they put on their little backpacks in the car and they're about to walk into school, I kind of have this expectation that they're gonna act like adults, like they're just gonna hop out of the car and run off where they need to go and walk off into the store. But what happens? When they're little, the mom or the dad, the adult will come around and take the child by the hand and protect the child, make sure traffic doesn't hurt the kid, make sure it doesn't walk anywhere he or she doesn't need to walk. They act as a guardian. Maybe many of us remember when we were kids, we'd reach up for our mom or dad's hand and they would walk us where we needed to go. See, Galatians chapter 3, Paul drops like these huge theological principles about faith versus the law and law versus the faith, and how many of us are still trying to work our way to God. When you don't work your way to God, you faith your way to God through Jesus. And then he kind of sums up all these profound principles at the end of the chapter in verse 24, and he says this. He kind of packs it up into the little theological backpack so we can just take it with us. And he says, the law was our guardian until Christ came. The law was our guardian, our protector, until Christ came. Now, when he said that, his Jewish audience knew exactly what he meant, because the guardian, the protector, was a role in a Jewish household. It was usually held by like the lowest servant, and that person would be responsible for taking care of the kids until they reached full maturity and they could protect themselves. So when the kids were toddlers, they would walk them to the market, they would hold their hand and make sure they were guided and protected. But once the child reached full maturity, it no longer needed the guardian. And Paul says, that's what the law is for us. It was there to protect us so that way we would know how to live a life glorifying God and reflecting what he wanted for us. But once Christ came, we no longer needed the law because we didn't need its protection because we had the protector. We had Jesus. So now we don't put our faith in the law, we put our faith in Jesus. But it raises the question for any of us that have already said yes to Jesus, in what ways are we still trying to live under the law? Are we still trying to earn our way to Jesus? Paul says it's as simple as this. Once you get old enough, you can throw on that gospel backpack yourself, and you don't need to hold the hand of the law, but rather walk with the one who fulfilled the law.